Was good. Mad Pill Live. Yeah. Breaking news. Donald Trump has been found guilty of all 34 counts.
Prosecution say that was the false recording of a business record. Therefore, it was a crime, a misdemeanor crime. But it was made more serious by the timing because it was just before the election. And they say that was an effort to commit election fraud. That's an E-class felony. If Donald Trump is found guilty, technically, he could face up to 4 years in prison. Realistically, he will almost certainly not, because he's a first-time non-violent offender. Should he be convicted, should he have to be sentenced, that won't happen immediately. He will be brought back to the court at a later date. And there will be an appeal if he is convicted. And that will take some time, probably push that appeal process beyond.
Oops.
Well, it is a historic verdict, certainly, but will it be consequential politically? That is the big question now. How will this guilty verdict, the first ever for a former president in this country, affect Donald Trump's chances in an election just over 5 months from now? Where better then to ask about how this will affect Donald Trump's odds than in Reno, Nevada, one of the casino capitals of this country. Nevada is also a swing state. This city is in Washoe County, which is the swingiest county and one of the swingiest states in America. Put simply, if Donald Trump wants to win this state, he will have to win here. He will have to flip it from the Democrats. I'm joined here by Keith and Gary, two friends, former truck drivers, retired truck drivers, who have very different political views. Just to ask you first, Keith, you're a diehard Trump supporter. How will this guilty verdict for Donald Trump affect the way you vote, if at all?
It won't affect the embarrassment for our country. I'm completely embarrassed at the witch hunting that's been going on, at the division in this country. I think Donald Trump did a phenomenal job.
Okay, so Donald Trump is able to run for president still? What?
Running this country. That's what we need. Somebody that's going to run the country.
This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Why should voters vote for a convicted felon?
Are you going to talk out? You believe the rule of law? You trust
Donald Trump there speaking after being found guilty on 30.
So he can still legally run for president. Wow. After he just got, what was it, 34 counts? He can still run for president. The first president ever in history that got convicted and he can still run for president. How is that like logical? And you heard the man before they interrupted him. He said he still was gonna vote for him. They don't. Wow. I mean, what about time though? I gotta hear more about time. I was just finding out. But what about the time? How much time is he looking at? I think 4 years, I believe.
For counts of falsifying business records. Speaking for the very first time there, saying that it was a corrupt judge, a rigged trial, rigged and disgraceful, and that
He always saying it's corrupt and rigged, just like the election when Obama won. It's always rigged. It's always corrupt.
will keep fighting on. James Matthews is in New York outside that courthouse. Confirmation from Donald Trump there, James, that he will continue to fight.
Yeah, no surprise, Gillian. I mean, we've heard that day in, day out, on his way in and on his way out of court, haven't we? A man who's fought a political campaign from the corridor of a courthouse. And I suppose Donald Trump's challenge, certainly Donald Trump's strategy, has been to create a wall of sound, criticism.
What if this was Obama got convicted of the same crime? What if that was Obama? Well, could he still been running? Well, he be looked at as a thug. I mean, come on now. How could you get convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records and hush money, and still you just a liar? What if this was Obama, y'all? Would Obama keep his credibility? Like I said, Obama would have been looked like as a thug.
About everything out with the courthouse. He speaks about Joe Biden on his way in, about deaths on the New York subway.
Hey, Patricia.
Matters other than the crime at the heart of the matter, the crime for which he has been convicted. And that will be the challenge going forward. Donald Trump will want America to be talking about everything other than his criminal conviction this time tomorrow, this time next week. And, you know, who's to say they won't be? Because this is largely an old story. It's a story that we have been told over the course of months and indeed years. I mean, in terms of the witness evidence, there was an insight, and we heard from people like Hope Hicks, people in Trump's orbit, who gave us an insight into the sense of crisis that he was battling against, and which triggered the payment to the porn star, the effort to silence a news story. But to a large degree, it was an old story. There are facts that we had heard before. Bear in mind, Donald Trump is an individual who has been found guilty in a civil court for business fraud. He has been found liable for sexual abuse in a civil trial in a case where the judge called it rape. So this
sexual abuse. I mean, he might as well just be P. Diddy. I mean, he's like, come on, he could still be running for president. I mean, he doing the same thing P. Diddy doing. How is that possible? How could he still be able to run for president and be convicted? See, Diddy ain't even convicted yet. Paying a porn star. He was a freak. He was a nasty old freak. And this freak can still be able to run for president. They show you it's not alleged freak. He is a freak. He's been proved guilty as being a freak and a fraud and a liar. How is this dude able How is this dude able to run for the president? That is just nasty. They pick and choose who they want. He got Diddy accounts. Patricia, yeah, he got Diddy accounts. Sexual him R word and women. I just wanted to say that right. Yeah, Patricia, Obama would be underneath the cell. And yeah, that's to deflect the Trump. More lawsuits on Diddy. Yeah, see, Trump. That's right, Patricia, because Trump wasn't even. It just I forgot all about Trump when this verdict popped up. Boy, I just popped up out the blue. I forgot that Trump was doing even on trial. I forgot Trump was even on trial, Patricia. And he able to still run for president. Like, this is crazy.
Man is a rapist by the definition of a New York judge. And yet, how often do you hear talk? How often do you see coverage about that? This is a man who's running for the presidency. That doesn't seem to have harmed him in the polls. He is ahead, certainly neck and neck with Joe Biden, ahead in key states, well placed to return to the White House despite a very dark background.
He a rapist. So P. Diddy might as well just run for president if he wasn't, black. I mean, it's a lot of racist stuff going on here. America pick and choose a villain. Like, this is crazy. Raping women, and he stealing money, or just being a fraud, being a liar. And he can still run for president. He's ahead in the polls. He ahead in the polls. And I believe he gonna win. I think that put like stripes on Trump. He a convicted felon. And you can run for president. So all right, then you should just be a convicted felon and get any job that you want to. In that case, they might as well take the felonies off of the jobs, certain jobs you can get. You could just be a killer and a rapist and a fraud and still be at the highest position, trusted with America's money. How is a fraud gonna be trusted with our money in America? You dealing with money, that's it. It's a business corporation. You're a fraud. So how the hell is he over all of our finances if he's a fraud like this? And I'm at a loss of words. So y'all gonna hire, would you hire somebody who has been a fraud? Someone who you can't even trust around your kids. This is what America doing, voting. He's ahead in the polls. So this dude is gonna be dealing with us. So no wonder the PPP loans was. People got up. See, Trump. This is all making sense. How is a felon gonna get into office and you can't even be a felon to get into Burger King? I mean, how does that make sense? For real. You can't be a banker, a felon, a fraud. You can't get a bank job. You can't get a management position dealing with money. What do you think America is? That's dealing with money. Mm.
Dark background established and ratified by New York judges and juries. And now we have this. For the first time, a former US president has been convicted of a felony, an E-class felony. It's at the lower end of the scale, but it's a felony nonetheless. He has been convicted. He is a criminal, and yet he is well placed to return to the White House. So I think the Trump strategy from here is what we have just seen. It's about the system being against him. It's about a political witch hunt, as he would characterize it. It's about dismissing the integrity of this court and this country's justice system as a whole, frankly. And it's, timing's important. Timing's important in terms of how he can spin the PR war in his favor. We're not far from a November election. Sentencing on the 11th of July is just 4 days before the Republican National Convention, at which he will be crowned the Republican candidate, barring any big surprises. So, the Trump bandwagon rolls on, and we wait to see what impact it will have on the American public at large. We're expecting reaction from the President, Joe Biden. He has been quiet over the course of this trial. The Democrats are acutely aware of accusations of political bias. For Biden to be seen to jump in to that kind of territory, they would have seen the danger of that being driving the narrative, the Trump narrative, that this was a political witch hunt. So Biden, he's stepped back from the fray. We are told that he will speak sometime fairly soon in the wake of this verdict. We're told that his campaigning is going to be more aggressive. Clearly, they are concerned at Trump showing in the polls and where Biden is in relation to Donald Trump. It is a tight contest, despite months, years of scandal. The Trump machine appears impenetrable thus far. And, it is a question how much this plays in to the whole political narrative and to the mindset of the American electorate at large. It was very ugly, all of this. It's an ugly crime. It was an affair, a one-night stand with a porn star. This is a married man. He was married to Melania at the time, and the prosecution.
And he was married. This is getting sicker and sicker. You married. One night stand with a porn star. Raping women. And a fraud.
Brought Stormy Daniels, the porn star, to court to tell her story, to tell the story that Donald Trump wanted kept from the American public. And we heard why he would have wanted that to be the case. It was a celebrity golf tournament in Lake Tahoe, Nevada in 2006. She met Trump. He invited her to dinner. She went to the hotel suite. The doorman let her in. She went in to find Trump in silk, she said, or satin pajamas. Said, what are you doing? She wanted him to change. And he then duly did. They had a chat. He produced a magazine on which, the front cover of which he was on.
They directed us.
And
They directed us right there.
she ended up spanking him with this magazine on the backside. So that happened. She went to the bathroom, re-emerged, and found Donald Trump on the bed in his t-shirt and boxer shorts with one leg raised. They then...
Ugh. Imagine Donald Trump with some boxers on with one leg raised. Ugh. Ain't no money in the world. Ugh. These hoes are desperate for money. Ugh.
ended up having sex. She said that she blacked out. A lot of excitement around here, I can tell you. Journalists and others emerging from the court, many police around, cordoned off areas for the media. So that's the shouting. But anyway, back to 2006 in Lake Tahoe, it was all pretty ugly. They had a one-night stand. Donald Trump said, I might get you onto the Celebrity Apprentice show, which he, of course, hosted. That never came to pass, and eventually they lost contact. It all came back to haunt him when he was running for office in 2016. There had been an Access Hollywood tape, which surfaced. That was Donald Trump caught on mic, talking in very lewd terms about grabbing women. That was a scandal, a crisis, according to his press aides. And then Stormy Daniels reared her head. She was trying to sell her story. That would have been a crisis upon a crisis. Trump didn't want that. So that's when he sent his lawyer to pay her $130,000 to keep her quiet. And he did. The story didn't come out. He got into all.
Trick. We're talking about the biggest tricks of them all. The trick of the tricks. Donald Trump.
Office, and then he committed the crime, reimbursing his lawyer, putting it through the books as legal expenses, and that was a crime, falsifying business records to commit election fraud. Julie Rendelman, criminal defense attorney, is with me. It was a complicated crime, Julie, but ultimately a relatively quick verdict and emphatic, guilty on all those 34 counts that fed into that one single crime.
Sure, and it's interesting because it makes you think that maybe the jury didn't think it was all that complicated. And again, the only notes we got were about that meeting. That really was what the focus was for them. And it indicated to some, now that we know what the verdict is, that they already believed he had falsified the records. They were figuring out what that next crime was going to be. And so it was quick, but the jury seemed pretty confident in their decision making.
And great excitement, great anticipation of a verdict, great tension, and we're just looking around us now, the fallout, people coming out of court, Trump making a statement outside of court, huge tension, and just a very big moment all round.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been here for a while, and I think everyone, watching this is from many different political views, and I think inevitably people are going to have very different views about this verdict and what it means. And there's some that argue that this verdict will help him get elected. Some believe that this will sway in the favor of the Democrats. But I think one thing that's very interesting is I'm curious if the jury is going to talk, because there's always a juror that wants to talk about what happens. That is fodder for the defense, because if someone says something that indicates some problem with what happened with the jury's decision, that also can open a can of worms with regards to a possible appeal.
Great. Thanks very much, Julie. Stay with us. More from you to come. We have had a statement from the Biden-Harris campaign on.
I mean, there you got it. Trump found guilty. I mean, like I said, like you said, Patricia, we blinded by P. Diddy trial. You know what I mean? Not trial, but and then I totally forgot about Donald Trump. And this came out the blue. Really, to me, I don't know if anybody was following this, but man, but it seems like it ain't gonna be no phase. That's just it. We can talk all, yeah, Patricia, I don't like Trump or Biden either. None of them ain't right. It seems like it ain't nothing nobody can do to prevent Donald Trump from getting in office. And that's the deal is. To me, it don't matter who is president. For real. A fraud could be president. It don't even matter who they put in office. I don't even vote, to tell you the truth. This is some mess that, you know. I don't even waste my time in these politics stuff. I don't even post about politics. I don't care nothing about what's going on, who to vote for, because I don't do none of that stuff. I'm totally independent. What I mean by independent is I don't vote. I don't choose. That's an American right not to vote. I don't care about nothing out there but my family and my followers, all my friends out there, my loved ones, and the good people. I mean, to everybody who caught up in the fantasy of this election and Donald Trump drama, it's just the same as the P. Diddy drama, but you just voting. That's the only thing you're doing. It's the same thing with the P. Diddy thing, but the thing about Donald Trump and P. Diddy, there's no difference between Donald Trump and P. Diddy. I'm gonna just put it to you like that. It ain't no difference between Donald Trump and P. Diddy. One culture, you know, black people, we cancel our people. We do what's right. That's one thing I could say about us. When somebody ain't right, we cancel them. If we find out that you are a predator or you do anything, you know, to underage women and you being a fraud, yeah, we crucify those people and we cancel them. It don't seem the same way with Trump and Epstein and none of them. It ain't with none of them. It ain't the same way. They don't crucify their people. The same way no other race crucified their people the same way the black race do, what we do. We cancel people who need to be canceled. We don't keep them in office. We don't vote for them. Right? We take away all their accolades. We strip them of everything. That's what we do. Trump, on the other hand, is being praised. And this is like a strike for him. And it's going to help him get in office. Yeah, see, they messed up when they brought these charges against Trump because it only helped his credibility. He needed this to boost him to be the next president. Now this happened. This actually boosted Donald Trump into being in office. Yeah, Patricia, you say, so people that have a felon can now run for president. The system is rigged. The Democrats is evil, are two sides of the same coin. Right. It don't matter what side, Patricia. That's why I stopped voting. I don't vote. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if Snoop Dogg was running for president. I wouldn't even give a damn. He was leading candidate, or Oprah. I wouldn't vote for none of them. Nobody who gets in office, you become tainted. You all a part of one system. Voting for me ain't did nothing for me or my family. For these clowns. See, this is exactly why I don't vote. This is exactly why I don't vote. Because of this stuff. I voted my heart on and put my emotions into this, and you got some felon rapist becoming the next president, being in office. From a felon and a rapist and a fraud. And then now he handling my money and my we putting our finances in a fraud stuff. I mean, come on now, you crazy. That's exactly why I don't vote. Mm. I'll leave this stuff up to y'all. I just make fun of this type of stuff. See, this is nothing to me. So like a lot of people is happy and rejoicing. Yes, President Trump is guilty of it, and they just jumping for joy, especially in the black community. Like, yes, this is it. Biden is going to be back in office. You crazy. Mm-mm. You got to be, you got to be. And then when Donald Trump become president in November, which he is, I predicted he is, because I think this is bringing him to the front, #1 candidate. I believe his credibility, his street cred has went up. I think more black people gonna vote for him just because he got convicted. Oh man. Imagine this, black people, the opportunity that you will have if Trump got in office. Imagine that opportunity that you get. Now you're gonna have felons getting in banking jobs. Fraud. Yeah, you got fraud. You got fraudsters in banking jobs now. In felons, known felons. Now that's Donald Trump paving the way for scammers. Donald Trump has paved the way for scammers to have high earning jobs now. Right. He paved the way for sexual predators. See, this is the thing about it. Donald Trump now has the sexual predators has got to be like celebrating right now. The sexual predators has got to be celebrating because Donald Trump had paved the way for sexual. See, when somebody of this caliber overcome, it paved the way for others. Like when the first black baseball player, huh? The first basketball player paved the way with Jackie Robinson. They booed him, they spat on him, and they threw rocks at him at first, but that was the first one that did it. See, he's the first sexual predator that's breaking boundaries for all the other sexual predators and scammers. See, he's paving the way for the scammers and the fraudsters and the sexual predators and adulterers. Hmm. It's so many after those PPP loans. It's so many sexual predators and scammers. He created so many because that's what he is. Lord have mercy. Whew. I, it's gonna be when he get in office. It's gonna be this gonna be so upside down. It's gonna be scamming, so much scamming. You might as well make a career out of a scammer. You might as well. You'd be a billionaire like Trump. You might as well. I mean, Lord, he didn't pave the way. Thank to Donald Trump. We gotta get even more security on our locks on our phones and banks. I mean, Jesus. And these dudes, let me tell you something. These scammers is going to be having banking jobs and jobs dealing with money and scammers. We're going to have sexual predators inside of the school. Now, around young kids again. He didn't pave the way for them. I mean, they gonna infiltrate. You won't even be able to trust putting your money in a bank anymore. Because you're gonna have so many scammers who are bankers now, thanks to Donald Trump. I mean, in management, this world is gonna be a world that you can't trust anymore when Donald Trump get back in office. I mean, it's gonna be all over the place. But that's America for you. I mean, the home of the free. I mean, ooh-wee, this country. Lord, I'm so glad I'm delivered from this mess of a drama. I'm free of America. That's when you truly free is when you free of America. It ain't just because I'm in America. I'm free of American, being an American, a proud American. I'm free of all that. I'm so happy that I don't even got to worry about who's going to be the president no more. I'm so happy that I ain't got to worry about being who the president. No matter he was black, it's Sambo, the next black man the next black intelligent man who's going to run for president. I don't give a care. I don't care about the drama no more. I'm delivered from that. Thank God I'm delivered from that. I'm saved from politics. I'm saved from the vote. This is a mockery. And this is disgraceful. And I'm so glad that I'm saved from it. The only way to be liberated from this mess is not to be a part of it. You can't vote your way into being free. You got to be not a part of it. You got to stop voting. We should boycott voting. They run the system anyway. They decide who the president gonna be anyway. So why you vote anyway? The only way to be free is to not be a part of it. Stay away from the gangs, right? Why would you go to places where gangs and be affiliated with gangsters and claim a gangster or politic? Why would you claim to be a Democrat or a Republican? You're a gangster. You're you against somebody. I ain't against nobody. Whether you can be a Democrat, Republican, Christian, Muslim, they play those labels. I'm free of all that. Free. Thank you. You say, Patricia, you think Biden should drop out of the president election and Trump should be disqualified? I think I think it shouldn't be a president. I mean, I don't think the president. Oh man. But there you have it, y'all. I'm gonna get out this live. I'll be back live and give me about the next 20 minutes. Diddy, more on P. Diddy, more breaking news on P. Diddy. So join my next live. I see y'all 20 minutes. Y'all seen the verdict. Found guilty, but it don't even matter. And so what? That's what it is. I said what I said. Thank y'all for joining. A few people watching it. Peace.